as usual, a lot of big basketball games to discuss all over the area, including potentially the biggest game of the year in the Philadelphia Catholic League. Next on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN. Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought, let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein. My co-host, as always, Mike Samsel. And Mike, a huge game in the Philadelphia Catholic League tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Archbishop Wood is taking on Neumann-Goretti. This game actually got moved to Ryan because of the problems with the Archbishop Wood gymnasium. This is really going to be the first time that Archbishop Wood and Neumann-Goretti can be competitive, and I'm really excited to see the point guard Gillespie. Got a bit of a surprising offer from Villanova, but if he comes out tonight and plays Quad A Greene to a draw or plays him close, all of a sudden he says, hey, I'm in this upper echelon. Yeah, I think that matchup is really key. And we'll talk about this game a little bit later with Aaron Ace Carter, but that is tonight at 7 o'clock at Archbishop Ryan, as Mike mentioned. But we've got a lot of other really good games around the area. I wanted to start in the Ches-Mont. Downingtown West at Coatesville tonight at 7:15. Rematch of a game earlier in the year, but Downingtown West coming off perhaps their biggest win of the year. They really are. Downingtown West is riding the wave right now. They got a huge win over their rivals East. So much so, we figured that was a foregone conclusion. Hey, East is going to win this game. I even said they were going to win easily, which shows how much I know sometimes. But this Coatesville team is really good, and it provides a tough opponent for them because Coatesville can play however you want to play. Downingtown West likes to play in the mud a little bit, slow the game down. Well, they already lost to Coatesville 47-33 when they were playing that way. But Coatesville also got a win this weekend over Strathaven 82-76. They're undefeated in league play, and they can play whatever pace you want to. That makes them a really dangerous team. Yeah, I agree, and they're definitely the best team in the Ches-Mont, but it's a big test for Downingtown West, but we'll see if they can ride the wave and get this win. That is tonight at 7:15. Another big game tonight in the Central League. Check that, in the Delaware Valley League. Chester at Penwood. Chester undefeated in league play. Again, teams that already matched up earlier this year. Yeah, and Chester came out victorious in that matchup. Now, this is going to be a fun game because Chester undefeated in the Delaware Valley League, but this is their toughest test. Going to a really rowdy atmosphere at Penwood. Now, they lost 61-53, in that game to Chester. It's the only league loss. And it wasn't that long ago. It came on January 10th, that game. Penwood is going to have the revenge factor big on their mind against Chester. Yeah, they really will. And it's really going to be up to Jamar Sudan, the best player for Chester, 6'5", 200 pounds. And again, Chester got the better of them in Chester. Penwood, they got them at home, so we'll see what happens. Should be a really big game in the Delaware Valley League. And then you have another game in Suburban 1, and this might be a lot of fun to watch. Abington at Cheltenham. They're rivals, but I don't know if anyone is stopping the Abington train right now. Abington is rolling. They are so strong right now, led by their big man Eric Dixon, who we talk about breathlessly, but this is a complete team. Lucas Monroe is a really, got a big wingspan. He's only a sophomore. He's getting better every game. He gives teams a problem on the perimeter offensively and defensively. They also have another really good guard in Robbie Heath. His offers are starting to roll in as he, about halfway through his junior year. He's a, low-level D1, D2 player probably. But this team's stacked. We talk so much about Eric Dixon, we forget about the surrounding parts, but this is a really good team. Now, Cheltenham provides an interesting matchup. These teams aren't separated by much, even though they're in different parts of the Suburban 1 League, with Cheltenham in the American and in the National Abington. But you got to figure these kids play AAU together and against each other. They played at the Y against each other. They probably play in rec leagues against each other. These two teams are going to be really familiar with the other. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge rivalry game. Like you said, these schools are not too far apart distance-wise, even though they are in the different divisions. And Cheltenham beat Hatboro Horsham, a good team in the American. Their only loss was to PW. So this should be a good game. Will be a challenge for Abington, even bigger challenge for Cheltenham. Another game, this is Friday night in the Central League. Lower Merion at Conestoga. Conestoga with a huge win over Pencrest at Pencrest. Yeah, it's a big win, 52-47, and they even survived the huge game from Tyler Norwood, who ended up putting 26 points up in that game.
but they survived. They found a way to win. They only had one made bucket in the fourth quarter. It came from Milton Robinson on a baseline drive and one, but you have to win games in different ways. Conestoga, if they pull off a win here, listen, it's no longer an upset. That ended with the Pencrest win. They're finding ways to win tough games, and they're doing so differently. They beat Lower Merion earlier on this year, 72-69 on their home floor. I like this Pencrest team. Now the question is, are they going to be able to stay up through the entire league season? That's really the only question about this team, but I think they have the most talent.
Yeah, you really look at Lower Merion, Conestoga, and Pencrest. They are the top three really in this league. So a huge game for both teams. Conestoga undefeated in league play to this point. So a lot of great games, and we have a lot more to get to next here on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Tommy Greene, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Flippin' Shakes has everything from burgers to sandwiches to delicious milkshakes. The Sports Fan Base Network crew chows down on a variety of favorites, from classic egg creams to the trending mac and cheese burger. Located at 233 2nd Street Pike in Southampton, you can dine in or take out. Flippin' Shakes, great food, great service, a flippin' good time.
This segment is brought to you by Valley Financial Group, certified financial planners that organize your financial life and design plans for leaving your legacy. Valley Financial Group, helping you live the life you earned.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. To build a good program, you need stability among your coaches. The Wissahickon Track and Field team certainly has that, and they run all year long.
On the mark. Track and field has a good history here, and I would say probably you can go back into the 30s. Track and field was a very big sport here.
Well, the history of the track program it started long before I got here. Coach Garris started it back in the early 60s. And I came on board as his assistant in 1969.
I've been here for 30 years. I've been the head coach for 21. Coach Garris has been here since the early 60s. Coach Gallagher came on board in the late 60s. I'm the young one. So between all of us, looking at over 200 years if you add it all together.
And the way we look at track at Wissahickon, we start with cross country, and the kids go from cross country right into the indoor season, and then right to the outdoor season.
We don't have cuts, so we're the only team in the school that gets 120 kids out every year. So numbers is important here at Wissahickon, especially with the school that's relatively small like we are. So I think that's how we've been able to, keep winning, is just making sure that we get the athletes to come out and make sure we have the numbers we need to find the kids out of that large group to contribute. There's a lot of programs have athletes in the building, and the trick is getting them out for your team. because you'll oftentimes see football and basketball programs with no track program. Why is that? The athletes are there. How do we get them out? And then also, Coach Garris is probably one of the best coaches in the state as far as development, and that's one of the things about high school track and field is the developmental aspect of it. From the 9th grader, watching these kids grow up to be men right in front of your eyes. Couldn't do anything as 9th graders, and all of a sudden they're qualifying for the state championship meetings.
Qualifying for states, it was really unexpected for me. It just came out of nowhere. I qualified in my first race of the season, so it was a good way to start the season. And it inspired me to keep working hard and make sure that I could qualify in other events because I look forward to running multiple events at the state meet. So,
yeah, I qualified meters. You know, it's very honorable. I like that. It's a great way to kick off the season because that was my first 200 meters.
Indoor and outdoor track. Well, it starts with the only things that we don't do indoors that we do outdoors is the javelin and the discus, for obvious reasons. But everything else we do.
Indoor track is challenging on one hand. On the other hand, it's a little easier than outdoors. It's challenging because you have to find somewhere to get the job done without a track sometimes. Stairways, jumping drills, plyometrics, the weight room, sprints in the halls, getting outside whenever the weather is half decent or even when it's cold out, as long as you dress properly and there's snow on the track. You know, we'll go through spurts sometimes where there'll be 2 weeks of snow on the track. And so you've got to be a little more creative as far as your workouts are concerned.
Indoors, you try to take advantage of whatever you have. We're lucky at Wissahickon to have an indoor facility that we can use.
We always treat indoor track as pre-season for outdoors. We don't treat it as a season unto itself. We call it a pre-season for outdoor track. So it's a good environment for getting a basis of work in for the outdoor season.
Well, with the practice conditions, the difference is like it's really cold when you have to run in this kind of season. So that has a huge factor on how I run. I feel indoors, the practicing is a lot harder. Obviously, it's during the winter, so the temperature, the conditions are worse. Running in the snow, the wind, it's just hard conditions. The mud versus the spring, I feel it just brings us together. But you know, you got to go through the hard work to shine later. So it's definitely necessary, but you know, I don't mind it.
Yeah, like Rashid said, it's definitely hard. It's harder in indoor versus outdoor, but it definitely brings people closer together. As far as the group, you kind of build your own family, so.
You probably can't count the number of trophies here as far as league championships are concerned. As I said, I'm the head cross-country coach, and we've won the league championship 6 out of the last 7 years.
And we actually won 4 state championships, team championships.
Well, back in the day, and you'll see from some of the trophies in the cases, this is a continuation of Ambler High. So the history of track and field in Ambler goes way back, and with Coach Garris got involved in the 60s, it just, it just got better and better.
My first year, my dual meet record was 1-9. My second year was 9-1. So we reversed that, and then from that point on, we just kept improving each year.
Yeah, it's actually great running for the school. I have teammates to help me out, and great coaches, you know, to push me further.
You know, it's amazing because we have such a great coach, and he's been here for such a long time. He knows what he's doing. He put the work in, and he shines. So he's definitely putting that back on us, whereas though we can display it out again. And that's why we've come so far, and very humble to be here.
So to come through this program, and it's just an honor to be able to shine and be trained by these coaches who have trained multiple state medalists. So I feel like our future under the program is very positive, and I think we can build a successful future together.
There's quite a record of accomplishments as far as Wissahickon Track is concerned.
Serving the community since 1974, Northeast Racquet Club and Fitness Center is perfect for the whole family. We provide a complete schedule of children's activities for ages 2.5 through 12 and a full-service fitness center for teens, adults, and seniors. Our sports arena features year-round roller hockey and seasonal indoor soccer leagues. Tennis, racquetball, aquatics, basketball, dance, karate, group exercise classes are all available to groups of all ages. Stop by and bring the whole family to the Northeast Racquet Club and Fitness Center at the corner of Cruisetown Road and Grand Avenue.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Get pain-free physical therapy. At PTW, we know that sometimes physical therapy can be tough and painful, so we do whatever we can to get you feeling pain-free again. Each one of our centers is equipped with an Alter-G anti-gravity treadmill or warm water therapy pool to unload your aching joints. From pre- and post-surgery rehab, fitness programs, and work injury rehab, PTW is your go-to therapy provider. Call or visit us online to schedule your PTW visit today.
Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you like pro sports?
Yeah.
You like college sports?
Of course.
You like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN.
This segment is brought to you by Sluggersville, Philadelphia's first premier year-round indoor baseball and softball training facility. With over 40,000 square feet of turf and 22 cages, Sluggersville is the largest of its kind in the area. Call 215-673-1258 to schedule your rental or training session.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. We are joined now by Sean Costello, the head girls basketball coach at the Shipley School. Coach, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we have a pretty big game tomorrow night, and SFBN is covering it. Shipley School against Germantown Friends in a basketball doubleheader. But it's a very special night called Swamp Night. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on at Swamp Night?
Yeah, Swamp Night's a great night where Shipley community comes together to have some dinner, watch some sports. There's bands playing. There are movie night for the little kids. A lot of fun games. It's just great for the whole community to come out and support the school.
And I love the name Swamp Night, of course, related to the Gators, your school mascot. And your squad has a pretty big game tomorrow night against Germantown Friends, and you guys are off to a really nice start. Tell us about your team.
Yeah, you know, young team with some senior leadership, and actually it'll be senior night as well. So it'll be a great chance to honor our seniors. But we're at 15-3 right now. I think we're improving every day, and you know, it's something that we want to keep going.
And of course, the boys game, the second game at 8 o'clock, approximately 8 o'clock. And you know, Westtown, pretty much the dominant team in the Friends League on the boys side. But tell us about the Shipley School's boys team and their chances against Germantown Friends.
Yeah, sure. Coach Phil has his team rolling right now. They some really strong guard play, good front court presence. Really exciting to watch. They put up a lot of numbers, and I think he has it going in the right direction there.
Sounds good, and we're certainly, again, looking forward to covering that tomorrow night on SFBN. Coach Sean Costello, thank you for joining us, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks a lot.
And now we bring in Aaron Ace Carter from the Philadelphia Inquirer. And Ace, pretty big game in the Philadelphia Catholic League tonight at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, one of those games that I've been looking forward to all season long. Neumann-Goretti and Archbishop Wood from Archbishop Brian. It's going to be one of those matchups, a little bit like Roman and Neumann-Goretti the last couple of years. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Well, this is going to be an interesting matchup because it's kind of student versus teacher, right, with Coach Arigale and John Moscow. Now, Moscow left in 14, but this would probably be the first year you could say he has a realistic chance.
I think so. And, those two guys are close. John was an assistant, like you said, under Carl for many years. And, they play sort of similar styles. They like to get up and down, push the tempo, push the pace. But like you said, so many storylines in this game. And this Archbishop Wood team is the most talented team I think John Moscow has had. And I think that Neumann-Goretti is going to be in for a battle.
Yeah, and you talk about pushing the pace, led by the point guards, two very good point guards. Gillespie on Archbishop Wood committed to Villanova, and of course Quade Greene for Neumann-Goretti committed to Kentucky. What do you see in that matchup? How important is that matchup in this game?
I think this is one of the most important matchups in the game, and it's not necessarily because I think the two of them will guard each other, because I don't think that's what's going to happen. Both of them are have so much responsibility offensively for their teams that I don't think either coach is going to want them chasing the other one around because they have too much other things to do. But in terms of Quade Greene and Gillespie, I think those are the two leaders of the team, and as they go, the team goes. So it's hard for me to believe that Quade could have a subpar game or an average game and Neumann would win, and same thing for Gillespie on the other side.
Well, let's take a look at the big guys in this matchup. Demir Crosby-Roundtree and Seth Pinckney. You talked about both teams like to run. Demir Crosby-Roundtree can play that game. Does that kind of game work for Seth Pinckney, getting up and down the floor?
It does, and that's one of the ways that Seth can get his buckets. He's not a guy that you're going to feed in the post and he's going to score with his back to the basket. He's a guy that's going to get offensive rebounds. He's going to run the floor. He's going to come from the weak side and block shots. So I think that, and Damir will do the same thing. They call him Dada. But he has a little more variation in his offensive repertoire. He can turn over his right shoulder with the left-hand hook, left shoulder with the right-hand hook, and he can actually step outside and shoot jump shots, which he doesn't really get to do because they have him down low. I know he would love to step out there and show you his range, but I think that's another important matchup in this game.
Yeah, obviously those are the four key players in this game, but these teams are really good, not just because of those four. They are very deeply talented. Who are maybe some of the X factors on both sides that will have an effect in this game?
Well, it's a good question, Ari, because I think for Neumann-Goretti, we top billing goes the Dada, going to Villanova, and Quade going to Kentucky. But I think one guy in particular for Neumann-Goretti that I look at is Noah Warren, who I've been able to see the last couple of years in JV games before the varsity game and light it up, average 20-plus points in JV action. But now in this season so far in 4 Catholic League games, he's getting about 13.5 a game. Really big points for him, to get, because they're not a deep team. They only play about 7-8 guys if they can afford to. So Noah Warren can shoot from the outside. He's got a funny little push shot, but it goes in. So we can't knock it. On the other side, we talk about Archbishop Wood, and I think Andrew Funk is a guy that comes off the bench for them. Wood is a deep team. They're a talented team. Funk can come off the bench. He can get you points. He can score on his own, off the dribble. And I think those two guys for me are who stands out.
All right, those are all the matchups. How about the keys to the game? If each team has success, what does it look like?
Well, I think let's start with Wood on defense. Obviously you're going to have to do something with Quade Greene, and what I would say, if I'm looking at this game, I would probably put Tyree Pickron on Quade. He's a little bit of a bigger body. Quade is not a guy that's a speed burner. He's not just going to blaze right by you with speed. So I think Pickron, is a good matchup there for Wood. And I also think that if you can have Quade make him bring the ball up 94 feet with pressure and sort of hopefully take away his legs late in the game if you're Wood, sort of like the boxer throws body blows to take away the legs for the later rounds. I think that can help Wood down the stretch now. But if you're Neumann-Goretti, I think Quade is a guy that leaders have to lead. And I think he's a guy, I don't think he's going to come out and distribute, get everybody involved early. I think this is one of those situations where, the leader has to lead, come out, be aggressive early, and let your guys follow.
Well, it should really be a phenomenal game and should be a packed house at Archbishop Bryan High School tonight. Ace, thanks so much for coming on the show and talking about it.
Thanks for having me.
Check out what's coming up on the Sports Fan Base Network. It's time to make our picks, and Mike, we struggled a little bit last week.
0-5, Ari. 0-5.
Well, you went 2-3. That's not much better.
Not important. 0-5.
It was an off week for me, I must say, but I'm ready to bounce back. So you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Okay, Philadelphia Catholic League tonight, Wood versus Neumann-Goretti.
I like Neumann-Goretti in this matchup quite a bit. Quade Greene has been outstanding this season. There were times where I wondered, hey, has Quade taken that step? Well, that question's been answered. He has in a big way.
And I like Neumann-Goretti as well. I'm going with Quade Greene, Demir Crosby-Roundtree. This is going to be a great game. Archbishop Bryan will be rocking, but I like Neumann-Goretti. I got to stick with the Saints. Okay, Ches-Mont Downingtown West at Coatesville. Who you got?
I go with Coatesville in this game because of what I said earlier on in this show. Coatesville can play however you want to play. That makes a big difference. That makes them a tough team. I think they control this game.
Well, I went against Downingtown West last week, lost on that, but I'm going to go against them again because I just think Coatesville is way too good. Downingtown West is on the road. I'm going with the Raiders in this one. Okay, Chester and Penwood. Really nice rivalry game.
It is a nice rivalry game, and this game's going to be at Penwood, which makes it close, but I'm going to go with Chester in this matchup. I just think they're the more experienced team, and they have a bit more talent, but this is going to be a close one.
I'm going with the home team on this one. I'm going with Penwood. I think they get revenge on Chester. These two teams are really not too far apart talent-wise, and I like Penwood to earn the split. Okay, Suburban 1, Abington at Cheltenham.
So excited for this game. I'm going to give Abington the edge in it. And if Abington can come out and win this game by double digits, it's time to put them back in the conversation of 6A state championship possibility.
Another great rivalry game. The place will be rocking, but I have to go with the Ghosts. They are just on a roll right now. We talked about all the talent they have surrounding Eric Dixon, who's a big D1 recruit. I'm going with Abington. Finally, Lower Merion at Conestoga.
I like this game. I think it's going to be a fun one, but I am done betting against Conestoga. 10-0 in league play. They continue to get big wins. I go with Conestoga.
Well, I'm not done betting against Conestoga. I'm going with Lower Merion. I think they'll earn the split. Lower Merion was the favorite in this league going into the year, and they are really starting to play well, starting to gel at the right time. I'm going with Lower Merion. So we differ on a couple of games. We'll see if I can make up some ground here.
I hope you don't go 0-5, because that means I have a bad week again, too.
Mike, thanks as always for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
Check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by the Physical Therapy and Wellness Institute. Go to www.ptwinstitute.com to find a location near you.
In the lane, pulls down the rebound and gets rejected by Corcoran. Transition for the Friars. Here's Turner. 27-11 our score.
A long time between baskets.
Turner, what a move behind the back to the rim.
Explosive move by the young freshman. He'll get an opportunity for the conventional three.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. The Sports Fan Base Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.